Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something really practical. Filing a complaint against a business.
Yeah, it's something a lot of people face.
Exactly. We've got some great sources, and our aim is to give you a clear understanding of how to, get results when you feel like you've been wronged as a consumer.
Absolutely. Have you ever felt kind of stuck dealing with a bad purchase or maybe some terrible service?
Oh, definitely.
We're here to cut through that frustration, give you some actionable steps.
Okay, so where do we even begin? It can feel pretty overwhelming, right? What's the essential groundwork like before we even reach out?
Right, think of it like detective work. You need to gather everything.
Everything. Like what specifically?
Dates, when did you buy it or get the service? Receipts, contracts, those are gold, don't lose them.
Okay, got it.
Note down the specifics about the product or service itself. And if you've already talked to someone, get their names, the dates of the calls.
Keeping track.
Crucially, you need to be really clear, even just for yourself first. What is the problem? And what outcome would actually feel fair to you?
Right. Okay. Get your ducks in a row first. Now, the instinct might be to just go straight to, I don't know, a consumer agency. Is that a good idea? Or maybe too soon?
Generally, yeah, it's usually best to go to source first. Give the business a chance to sort it out.
Makes sense.
I mean, lots of reputable companies want to fix issues internally, plus doing that builds a record.
A paper trail.
Exactly, a documented history of you trying to resolve it. That's vital if things escalate. So keep a log, who you spoke to, when, what was said, every interaction.
Okay, solid advice. So let's say you did that. The company, well, they didn't budge. What about online options? Are there effective platforms?
Yeah, there are. You could explore platforms specific to that industry. A quick search like industry name complaint forum might turn something up.
Industry specific, okay.
Then there are general consumer sites like the Better Business Bureau. They sometimes act as intermediaries.
All right, the BBB.
And even social media can be a tool. But a word of caution there. Keep it really factual, professional. Getting emotional online can sometimes backfire.
Good point. Avoid the rant. So, okay, still no luck. Feeling ignored. How do we, escalate things?
You could try finding contact info for higher management within the company. Sometimes persistence pays off.
Go over their heads.
Basically, yeah. Also, sharing your experience publicly on review sites again factually can sometimes get their attention. And then you start thinking about formal complaints.
Like with regulatory agencies.
Exactly. For general consumer stuff, the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, is one place. Many states also have their own consumer affairs departments. Worth looking into.
What about, like, the old-fashioned complaint letter? Is that still worth doing?
Oh, absolutely. A well-written letter creates a formal record. It shows you're serious.
So what makes it well-written?
Be clear, concise, stick to the facts. No angry language. Clearly outline the problem, what steps you've already taken, and what you want them to do, your desired resolution.
And attach proof.
Yes. Attach copies, never the originals, of your supporting documents, like those receipts we mentioned.
Okay. But sometimes, even that might not work. That's where small claims court comes in, isn't it? What's the deal with that?
It's a more formal route, yes, but it's generally simpler than regular court. Often you don't even need a lawyer.
Okay. Less intimidating.
Right. There are usually monetary limits, though, caps on how much you can sue for. So it's mainly for relatively smaller disputes, but definitely an option if other paths fail.
Important question.
Yeah.
Are there deadlines? Time limits for filing complaints or going to court?
Yes, definitely. They're called statutes of limitations, and they vary, like, a lot depending on the issue and where you live.
Do you need to act fast?
You need to be aware of the deadlines, absolutely. Don't wait too long. If you're considering legal action, a quick search for, say, your state statute of limitations consumer complaints is a good starting point.
Okay. What if it's not just you? What if lots of people have the same problem with the same company? Is there power in numbers?
Yes, that's when you might look into group complaints or even class action lawsuits.
The class action suit.
Yeah, that happens when many consumers have suffered sort of similar harm from the same business practices. These are usually much more complex, though. You'd almost certainly need legal help for that.
Right. So, looking back at this whole process, what are some common mistakes people make? Things to avoid?
Letting anger or emotion drive your communication is a big one. Stick to the facts.
Keep it professional.
Exactly. Another mistake is not keeping good records. It really weakens your position. Making demands that are just totally unrealistic can also stall things.
Like asking for the moon.
Pretty much. And as we said, waiting too long, missing those deadlines can just shut the door completely.
Okay. And finally, how do businesses usually react to official complaints? Do they take them seriously?
Reputable businesses generally do. They often have set procedures for handling complaints. They know it's important for customer goodwill, for their reputation.
And avoiding regulators.
And avoiding trouble with regulators, yeah. So they often have an incentive to resolve things properly.
Right. So let's just quickly recap the main points. Gather your evidence first. Try contacting the company directly before anything else. Then explore online options, maybe a formal letter. Understand how to escalate, including small claims court.
Be super aware of time limits. Consider group action if it's a widespread issue. Avoid common pitfalls like getting emotional or not keeping records.
And remember that businesses, well, the good ones, often do take formal complaints seriously.
Precisely. Just understanding this whole process can really shift the power dynamic, actually.
How so?
It makes you a more informed consumer, more empowered to advocate for yourself.
That's a great point. So, thinking about all this, you listening right now, how might this knowledge change how you handle a business dispute next time? Definitely something to consider. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.